Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about something that I have touched upon a couple of times on my videos. So I just want to take that and put it into context. So I've talked a couple of times about how do I power my cameras. So today I just want to go a little bit further and talk about the scenarios that I use a certain powering method. We all know that the good old way of powering your camera is just to have your battery, pop it into your battery slot or pot or whatever it's called. Then you go and shoot. There's no issues, there's no cables dangling. So I would use this when I just do my private stuff. Say I'm shooting my kit, I'm just doing some B-rolls in the studio here, or even if I'm hired but all I have to do is B-rolls or I have to do some highlights, then this method will work definitely. But then life is not that simple, neither is it that difficult. So you might find that you find the scenarios that you might find that you still have to do maybe the highlights, but you have to take some speeches. So you find that if you go into just use this, sometimes the camera will just say 5 minutes left or 3 minutes left of your battery power. Then you wish the person can speak very fast so that you can just take out the battery, pop in another battery. So in that scenario, you can bring this guy. It's going to cost you a couple of times. This is the battery grip. Inside here is 2 batteries, and on Fujifilm you actually can have a battery inside the body and 2 batteries in the battery grip. Some other systems you only have 2 batteries in the battery grip and you don't have a battery inside the body. So the nice thing with this is that you will never wish that someone can finish speaking or can speak faster. So what happens is, even if you can see maybe the 2 batteries in here are dead, or even 1 battery is dead, you can actually take it out, take the 2 batteries out. The camera will still be powered by the battery that is inside. Replace the battery, put it back while the person is still speaking, without even switching off your camera. Obviously this will be on top of a tripod so that when you take this out you don't have issues. So I will use it in that scenario where I have to take something like a speech, but I also don't need, I need to be mobile. I don't need anything attached to the camera. So I will use the battery grip. So there are other methods similar to the battery grip, but then you don't need the battery. I'm just going to take this battery out. So the battery grip is a good idea, but it is expensive and not everyone can afford it. But then you do get this. So what happens here, you have your dummy battery that you going to pop it inside where the battery is, so it replaces the real battery. What's happening here is just the contacts and the shape of the battery. So it goes in, then on this side you put it into your any USB or any fast charging USB. So I would say 2.1 amps to about 2.4 amps. I think there is somewhere where it's written on here. Okay, this one says 5 volts, 2 amps to 4 amps. So it looks like even if it's 2 amps, it will work. So you put this onto your power bank, any power bank, 2 amps like it said, and this is a DC step up. So it's going to take that 5 volt and then step it up. It's going to take, yes, the 5 volt and step it up so that you have enough watts that can power your camera. What I have seen with this is that when I shoot 4K higher bit rates, it actually dies. So I actually have to put both of them into the power bank. Just make sure that if you put both of them in one power bank, that the power bank actually provide at least 2 amps per port, not 2 amps total or 2.4 amps total. It should be per port, otherwise it will not work. You might need 2 power banks. So where do I use this? Like now, as I'm doing this video, this is where I normally use this thing. I use it on things that that I can redo, or things that I know that I have a couple of cameras. If this thing dies, I will be able to use another footage. And my reason for this is that these are electronics, it's electrical stuff, and there's lots of wires and connections. There's a connection also here, even though it's quite tight. There are contactors here, so it's just cables. It's just cable probably welded to those contactors, those metal plates, and this is an electronic motor. So anything can definitely go wrong on all these connections. So that's why I will use it in something that I know I can redo, or something that I know that no, I do have a backup. I don't have to worry. For example, if I do live streaming, I use this because if it dies, even if the camera that this is on is actually the live camera, you can easily switch to the other camera. So this is where I use this dummy battery. So the next method is you might be having a very important client that you actually want to impress, and you find yourself having to have a rig like this. So you need your audio. I'm just going to put this here. So you need to have your audio, you need to have your monitor. This is a recording monitor, maybe you want to use it. I'm recording, actually even as we speak here, I'm recording into the Rode, and the Rode takes the sound into the Zoom, and that is where the sound, my audio gets saved. So you want to have this, you want to impress your clients. But how do you power this? Because it can be difficult, especially on my rig, to take out the battery. That's when I use a PD power bank. That is a power bank that has power delivery. So it's going to deliver, mine I think it delivers about 25 watts. The Fujifilm Xt4 XT3, I think they need about 18 watts or so. Please don't quote me on that, but that's what I think they use. Yeah, I will leave it today. So I use the power bank connected to this, and this power bank is going to last forever. This is when you really want to impress your client with the rig, or maybe you're going to film a very long documentary that you need some stabilization, which this will give you, and it's also a run and gun type of documentary, or even a short movie where you need run and gun. You don't want to have issues with power packs or batteries. So those are the methods that I use to power my Fujifilm cameras, and the scenarios where I use a certain powering method. So guys, please subscribe to my channel. I'll keep dropping these videos. I try to make them as short as possible. Sometimes it's just not possible. So this is Kagiso M. I will see you on the next video. Cheers.